Hello and welcome to your weekly dose of all things travel and lifestyle. This is Trendz Travel and I'm Eloise Scoble. We start off this week's show with the very first live ever ASMR experience in South Africa. ASMR stands for Automated Sensory Meridian Response, which is used as a mode of relaxation. It is triggered by such things as breathing sounds, sounds of tapping, and sounds of eating and drinking. Let's have a look.
South Africa never stays too far behind when it comes to global trends. The modern world has now incepted a new concept of relaxation techniques through sounds. We had the pleasure of partaking in South Africa's first live ASMR experience.
It's beautiful because ASMR hasn't been done before in South Africa, and for me it's a thing of if it hasn't been done before in South Africa, it probably hasn't been done before in Africa. So for me it's just so amazing to be a part of that whole experience, but more so it's a thing of I want to show the people back home and more so across Africa that it's possible. It doesn't really matter where you're from, but to be in a place where you can be at the forefront of such amazing initiatives is actually just, it's awe-inspiring.
When I got the brief about today, ASMR, I had to Google it. I did not know what ASMR means. I thought it was some type of a car, but that's another brand. But today was really dope.
Okay, so let's break it down so we all know what this trend is. ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It's a sensory experience that's meant to soothe the modern mind by using sounds to create a sensation through the body. ASMR enhances any sound you could possibly think of, but the sound of chewing different food items seems to be a firm favorite sensory experience of this trend. South African songstress Rolene Bosman took us through a variety of crunchy sounds of this live ASMR experience.
ASMR, basically it's the feeling that you get from sounds. So you would have experienced all the different sounds that Rolene created, but the feeling that you got from it was not just like a normal sound that you hear. The type of technology amplifies the sounds to really give you feelings. I mean, goosebump stuff.
It's just so crazy because I didn't think that sounds could get that intimate. Like for me it was like, whoa. Like I didn't think it could get to this level, and for me it was very personal in the sense that these aren't sounds that you usually hear, because most of all you hear people chew or play or fickle in their own little spaces and you don't really hear it. So for me to get that up close, it was actually it was actually a bit mind-numbing.
Out of everything, I feel like the apple was like, oh, okay, hey, why is it so crunchy?
I really love too the snapping one. I don't know what it's called, the snapples. That one, it's like it's a burst of flavor, it's a burst of excitement, and I feel like it's a burst of happy, which is what I feel flying fish is. Every time you take a sip, it's just refreshing, you know what I'm saying? And I also like the ice, man. I love ice. I love cold stuff. Anything cold, I love it. So I really like that ice sound, you know what I'm saying?
When Rolene had like the little candies in her mouth that like pop, that like triggered like a lot on me. I won't lie.
In the beginning it was quite weird, but if you just focus and listen, because it's all about listening and not really watching someone chew, it's quite therapeutic for me, yeah, and relaxing. I love it.
I think it was actually really nice the fact that we all had headphones on, earphones, so it made it very personal. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I actually really thought it was quite interesting, her biting the eyes, grating the lemon, so very creative with flying fish to do.
Champagne Day festivities were well underway, with many bubbly brands going out of their way to revel in style with some of SA's best loved celebs. But it is October, so it's all about the fashion, the style, the dress, the theme, and all things celebration.
Every second, somewhere in the world, there's a special occasion, celebrated with a pop of champagne. As usual, Trendz Travel was invited to attend one of the most exclusive events in the social calendar, the Moe 150th birthday party, celebrated on Champagne Day. We mingled with the who's who, and there was no short supply of the French bubble. The highlight of the afternoon, however, was meeting the French-based winemaker Amin Gamil, who was in the country for the first time.
because South Africa is one of the biggest market in Africa for Moët Chandon. And Moët Chandon in South Africa is the most loved champagne, most sold champagne. And we heard about the energy of the South Africans. And we wanted to come and to see how South Africans celebrate this Champagne Day.
The theme for this year's event was vintage and spring, and it was interpreted in many glamorous and interesting ways. We spotted hip-hop musician Khuli Chana and social media influencer Tsepi Vundla, among others.
It came so easily, guys, because my goals are to be a rich, not a housewife, but rich housewife per se. And well, in Beverly Hills, this is how they dressed, with like the scarf and beautiful shades and a beautiful dress and a sports car. So this came very easily because it's obviously something like it just has to happen.
Vintage for me is also like timeless, right? And I think I can still pull this off 20 years from now, right? Yeah, and you know, also big shout out to Moët and Chandon for putting this event together. I run into some really interesting people, amazing networks, and we're building.
The Moët and Chandon party is spring vintage, like the design, the shape of the dress is super vintage, and the play on of the print, I was like, it's got the florals for spring obviously, and it's modern, so it's a bit of a modern vintage vibe.
And this is how some of these who attended the party say they will celebrate their 150th birthday party.
If I turn 150, I definitely want to spend it somewhere in Europe, maybe even Paris. I did Paris like a few years ago, I was younger, but I think 150, I think the money will be really good. It'll be worth it. I'll be able to do everything, visit all the the vineyards and everything. I think there'll be an amazing birthday celebration.
150, where would it be? Definitely maybe at a place like this, or I did something very interesting recently where I was shooting a video and I was inside an air balloon, and I imagined this would be great. Inside an air balloon, that would be hot.
We will be back with more of Trendz Travel after this very short break. But while we're away, I'd like to remind you to follow us on Instagram or on Twitter. That's on Trendz on SABC. October is the month in which South Africans are asked to give up drinking in a campaign to bring awareness to alcohol abuse. The idea is simple: stay sober in October and donate whatever you would have spent on booze to charity. Now that doesn't mean you have to remain dry in October, as we find alternative ways to quench your thirst, especially during these heatwave days.
Guys, it's that time of the year again. It's hot, it's summer. We want to have something that's going to cool you down, be by the pool, be by the beach. But today I'm making something I've never done before. I normally have my coffee in the morning when I'm going to work. But today we're having a coffee cocktail, and I've got this lovely gentleman to help me tell us more about this wonderful cocktail. What are we doing today?
So we're going to make these cocktails with the new Nescafe ready-to-drink products that we're launching. And we have different options. We've got the original, we've got the black roast, the latte, and as well as the mocha. So they're wonderful on their own, but you can also make wonderful cocktails.
Okay, I want to learn to make a cocktail. So I'm going to turn to you as you show me what cocktail are you making.
Let's do the latte.
Let's do a latte first.
Okay, so your latte will correspond very well with the popcorn.
Okay, so all right.
So the cocktail is shaken.
All right.
So what I'm gonna do, once the glass has already been chilled,
all right.
So we're going for the popcorn syrup. Yes. Are we going for 25 minutes?
All right.
The latte, yes. 100%. So this is just a very easy cocktail to make. Easy, very refreshing.
Very refreshing, yes.
It corresponds with any weather, any occasion. It's a virgin cocktail. However, if you like some alcohol, we can add brandy in it also very nice.
Okay, cool. While you finish that, back to you. Why specifically did you decide to come up with coffee coolers, if I can put it? Why?
Well, as you know, Nescafe has been innovating in the coffee industry since 1938. And I've been now more than a year in South Africa. I know you guys like braais, going to the beach, parties, shisha nyama.
Yes.
So I think that the consumers want something refreshing that is also stimulating at the same time. So this is the perfect range.
Okay, cool. All right, and how's it going?
All good, and then we're garnishing with the cream, the whipped cream, with the fresh coconut in it. You have an option of having it either with a straw or without a straw. But it's advisable to have it without a straw because of like we have to taste that cream.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth. Okay. Yes. I say the proof is in the pudding.
That's right.
The proof is in the coffee today. Amazing. Very nice. Very nice and fresh.
Good summer drink.
A very good summer drink. Terajo?
Yes.
Summer.
Yes.
And we're doing something different. We're not doing your typical mojito.
Okay.
We're doing coffee cocktail.
Oh, excited. That's dope. Yeah, I love different stuff.
To mix your own cocktail. So here's your flavor.
This is mocha, or the next Nescafe mocha. Okay.
Yes, Nescafe mocha.
Yes.
Right, okay, cool.
So I need to use the Nescafe mocha, ne?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to start with putting our ice. Just help me there. Bring our ice inside here. How do you like your cocktail?
Semi-sweet, strong. Listen, a cocktail is just a cocktail. A good cocktail.
Okay, cool stuff. I'm gonna put this here for you. Then there's some mixers.
Okay,
Right.
so whiskey. We love whiskey.
Right.
There we go.
It's not an easy job.
That is 35 mils. So this is the vanilla liqueur. Okay. As 15 mils. Okay,
Next
great.
one would be
This is
caramel.
Caramel. Okay. All right, delicious. How much of it can I put in?
There you can only put 12.5 ml. That's gonna be half
of that.
Half a shot.
Half
Okay.
a shot, okay.
Yeah, so that is not too sweet, ne? Okay. So that's half a shot. Okay. Original mocha. Let me open it.
Oh, you're fine. Okay.
So 100 mils is two times.
Okay.
Two. Okay.
You shake it.
Time to shake.
Shake.
There you go. There you go.
This is actually not so easy. You guys make it look so easy, okay?
Cool.
And then you pour.
Pour.
I've always wanted to do this.
You're not warming your pan in the meantime. Yes.
There we go! Woo! This is my cocktail. This is how you make a cocktail, okay? And we can taste it together.
Nice.
It's very nice.
Nice.
I like it. It's so like beans.
Describe a cocktail.
It is a bit spicy, a bit of vanilla in there, very sweet. So it's a mixture of everything, very diverse, like Lerato Khanyago. So yeah, cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers to
Absolutely
summer.
love it. Cheers to summer.
Thank you so much.
Just don't kiss me. The University of Johannesburg hosts Conversing the Land, an exhibition which both documents and interrogates the ways in which visual artists have grappled with the land in an attempt to understand who we are, where we come from, what we have, and what we have lost.
The University of Johannesburg and the MTN SA Foundation have worked together for a long time on various projects. We've been working closely together on specific conversations, including works from both our respective collections or our art collections. The themes that we approached over the past 3 years, I think we found it so exciting because we found then the depth in our respective collections. The first year it was shifting conversations, and we looked at the decolonizing debate. Last year we called it continuing conversations, and we worked on portraits. And this year it's called Conversing the Land. I think it's so important at this stage of our country's life, of our history, that we do look at things like what's happening to the land, what happened in the past, in the 300-400 years that this country has been in existence.
Conversing the Land encompasses 3 major themes, okay? So it's inhabiting the land worked, and the land in conflict. the tradition of landscape painting is mostly associated with an artist called Pierre Neef. A lot of the times his artworks depicted the land as empty. So empty of the people who've been living in it for many years, the structures they've built on the land and their activities, all right? So in contrast or in contradiction to what Pierre Neef is advocating, I'd like to speak about Simon Mnguni's artwork, okay? It depicts the people of the land, on the land, walking around in the land, and depicts their homes as well. The next phase of the exhibition is the land worked, and just next to me are typical scenes of agriculture. The one scene is a scene from Buputatswana, and the other scene is just a small farm with its equipment on it. So in this instance, we speak about agriculture, we speak about industry, when man is working the land. We have Jeanette Unite's Earth Scars, and they focus on diamond mining in the Kimberley region and the effects that long tradition or that long activity of working the land has had on the actual landscape. In front of me here we have an artwork by Abri Fari, which is called Waymark Wanton, and it represents or depicts the Fort Raka monument, all right? Very fort-like, sitting on an apex in the landscape, all right? So it obviously, one can associate the monument with activities of war or occupation, right? So you occupy a hillock or you occupy a high position in the land so that you can survey the land and be able to control movement in the land. In this section of the exhibition, we exhibit cityscapes and life in cities. Life in modern times, so life after colonial activities and life during apartheid and post-apartheid, okay? And over here we have a Lariskali, and it's a stylized form of a cityscape. And just next to it are other smaller pieces that speak about specific activities in the city. So to conclude, I'd like to speak on these two artworks that are in contrast to our cityscapes and the busyness that one associates with cities. These two artworks are a lot more serene, and this one in particular feels a lot more rural. In the city context, usually we have artworks that in a way transport us away from our immediate surroundings. And it's something that either depicts the rural or the simpler times that man used to live in, where the pressures of modern living weren't experienced.
Have you always considered yourself a VVIP but had nowhere to celebrate your status? Well then, we have the perfect place for you to indulge in your true self with the first of its kind in Africa. We are giving you and a partner a chance to live your best life at the Park Polo in Africa with 2 VVIP tickets with your name on it. All you have to do is answer the simple question: what's the theme for this year's Polo at the Park? Hit us up with your answer on Twitter. Our details are on your screen right now.
There are so many little known and less explored places in South Africa, and Puleng is making it her business to introduce them to us. And right now, she takes us to the Groot Mariko.
It is something out of a fairy tale storybook. So blue and clear, you can see the bottom of it without having to dive in. It's the Mariko Eye, or Mariko Oog in Afrikaans, one of 3 dolomite pools or dolomitic eyes that make up a major part of the source of the Groot Mariko River. So what brings us here? The scenic scape and the thrill of underwater views that you can only get when you visit here.
Ons het die plaas gekoop 1935 en toe was die oog hier gewees, so hy is al die eeuwe is hy hierso. Hulle het eers vir hom gaan sê Kaaloog. En toe het hulle 1935-40 het hulle wal gebou hier die boere vir die beeste om water te drink links en regs van die rivier want hulle sit vas hier in die modder. Die gat gooi plus minus 700,000 liter 'n uur. Die water gaan hier af Tabazimbi toe. Dan loop dit in die krokodil in wat van Hartbeespoortdam afkom, Limpopo toe en Mozambique toe.
The water invites you in the minute you lay eyes on it. It's no wonder these divers haven't left the river since we got here.
If you're looking for calm, quiet, and very hot weather, this is the place that you can come to. The best part about that is that if you're feeling quite hot, there is the Eye, this beautiful river with so many, I've never seen so many water lilies in my life. I can't swim. I'm so jealous of the swimmer over here. I wish I knew how to swim because I think one of the best things to do when you are here at the Eye is to dive.
So this is my first time here. It's clear. It's beautiful and it's completely different from other places.
How many hours have you been swimming in it? You look like you've been swimming since 5 a.m. in the morning. Have you?
I've been swimming since 6. Haven't come out.
6 a.m. in the morning and it's like almost midday.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you get tired of swimming?
No.
Show me. Can you show me like a swim move, like a nice cool move? Okay. Go. Take it away. What about the backflip and the flips? Yes, can I see a backflip?
Sure.
Why do you like diving here?
Relatively, it is a shallow dive site, so it's great fun for the whole family. They bottle mineral water from here, so the water, the visibility is always great. And it's a fun weekend out. We're camping. We camp here. We bring our own air from Joburg, so we dive when we're ready. And we do as many dives as we can. It's also a great night diving dive site because it's so controlled. You know, there's no currents like we do have in the sea. So it's really fun for the whole family.
What kind of living creatures are down there?
Well, there's actually quite a bit. Lots of little cichlids. We've actually spotted quite a few koi this weekend. There has been rumour, I haven't quite seen it, but there's reports of underwater eels that float around here. So, cleaner shrimp.
The water lilies have a life of their own. I was so jealous of the divers that I joined the little ones on their water slide just so I can get that water rush. The best part about diving here is that after a long day of fun-filled water activities, you can chill by the campsite and make new friends.
Tell me about your camping experience. How are you finding it so far?
Well, I'm loving it. It's a nice little spot, a little bit away from the big city. I've got the whole family here, all 4 of us are divers. So we've come and seen the clear water and a lovely atmosphere here is great.
Where do you guys stay? How far did you have to travel to get here?
Yeah, it's about 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. We stay up in Joburg as well. Yeah, so yeah.
Apart from the diving, is there anything else that would bring you here?
I would say the relaxation. I mean, you don't just have to come and dive. You can sit around campfire, dry, enjoy a beer, and just be social.
And that's all we have here in this week's edition of Trendz Travel. We look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same place. But do remember to catch us on Instagram and Twitter because we've got some wonderful things in store for you.